Hannibal Lecter. Even the name sends shivers down your spine. He's not just a character, he's a cultural icon, a chilling blend of brilliance and brutality. You don't just watch Hannibal Lecter, you experience him. But what if there's more to him than meets the eye? What if his terrifying actions are not just those of a monster, but of a deeply broken human being? To understand Hannibal, we must step into his world and unravel the threads of his mind. In 1991, The Silence of the Lambs captivated audiences with its gripping story and unforgettable characters. Directed by Jonathan Demme and based on Thomas Harris's novel, it introduced us to FBI trainee Clarice Starling and her uneasy alliance with Hannibal Lecter, a former psychiatrist turned cannibalistic serial killer. Lecter assists Clarice in tracking down another murderer, Buffalo Bill, but as we delve deeper into the film, it's clear that Hannibal is the true puzzle. He's a predator, yes, but also a man of immense sophistication and intellect. How do these traits coexist within one person? What could possibly create such a mind? To understand Hannibal, we must look at his behavior through the lens of psychology. His actions are a textbook example of Antisocial Personality Disorder, or APD. This disorder is not about simple misbehavior. It's about a fundamental disregard for societal norms and human emotions. People with APD lack empathy, manipulate others, and show no remorse for their actions. These traits define Hannibal Lecter, but a diagnosis alone doesn't explain him. To truly understand, we need to dig deeper into his actions and their underlying causes. One of the key traits of APD is a failure to conform to social norms. Hannibal Lecter's crimes go far beyond breaking the law. They're calculated and theatrical. Take, for example, his escape from custody. Most criminals might simply flee, but Hannibal turns it into a performance. He murders 2 police officers, skins one of their faces, and uses it as a mask to slip past his captors. It's a horrifying display of both violence and cunning. For Hannibal, these acts are not just crimes, they're demonstrations of his power and intellect. He doesn't just reject societal rules, he manipulates them to his advantage. But perhaps the most chilling aspect of Hannibal's character is his lack of remorse. This isn't a man who regrets his actions or reflects on the pain he causes. Instead, he seems to revel in it. In one of the film's most famous lines, Hannibal recalls eating a census taker with some fava beans and a nice Chianti. He describes this horrific act as casually as someone might discuss their favorite meal. This detachment from the harm he causes is a hallmark of APD. Hannibal doesn't just lack guilt, he transforms his crimes into expressions of his identity. Hannibal's actions also reveal his failure to minimize the consequences of his behavior. He doesn't just kill, he leaves behind grotesque displays of his victims. After murdering a police officer, he disembowels the body and arranges it in a disturbing tableau. It's as though he wants the world to see and understand the full extent of his power. This isn't just cruelty, it's a calculated effort to amplify the terror he creates. For Hannibal, his victims are not people, but tools in his pursuit of dominance. So, how does someone become like Hannibal Lecter? No one is born a monster. Hannibal's descent into darkness can be traced back to his childhood, a period marked by unimaginable trauma. Born into an aristocratic family in Europe, Hannibal's early life seemed privileged. But during World War II, his world fell apart. At the age of 8, he witnessed the brutal murder of his parents by German deserters. Worse still, these same men cannibalized his younger sister Misha, while Hannibal was forced to watch. This horrifying experience shattered his innocence and left a scar that would never heal. Psychodynamic theory offers some insight into how such trauma could shape a person like Hannibal. According to this theory, early experiences of extreme fear and helplessness can disrupt normal emotional development, leading to repressed anger and antisocial tendencies. Hannibal's inability to protect his sister likely fostered feelings of powerlessness and rage, emotions that he later transformed into a need for control and dominance. As an adult, he became both a victim and a master of his trauma. His intellect allowed him to channel his pain into calculated violence, turning his suffering into a weapon. But understanding Hannibal isn't just about diagnosing his disorder or tracing his trauma. It's also about asking whether someone like him can ever be rehabilitated. Antisocial Personality Disorder is one of the most challenging conditions to treat. Cognitive therapy aims to reshape thought patterns and behaviors, but it requires a willingness to change, and Hannibal is anything but willing. Medications can help manage aggression, but they cannot instill empathy or remorse. Even incarceration, the ultimate form of containment, failed to hold him. Hannibal's escape from a maximum security facility isn't just a plot point. It's a testament to his ability to outwit even the most stringent measures. This raises profound ethical questions. Should society even attempt to rehabilitate someone as dangerous as Hannibal? Or is the risk simply too great? Hannibal forces us to confront the limitations of psychiatry and the justice system. His character blurs the lines between punishment and rehabilitation, between understanding and enabling. He challenges us to think about the darkest corners of the human mind and the boundaries of what can be changed. Hannibal Lecter is more than a fictional character. He's a symbol of the extremes of human behavior, the coexistence of intellect and savagery, brilliance and brutality. His story isn't just about crime or horror. It's about the fragility of the human psyche and the profound impact of trauma. By exploring his character, we're not just analyzing a fictional villain, we're grappling with the complexities of the human condition. Hannibal Lecter isn't simply a monster, he's a mirror, reflecting humanity's potential for both greatness and depravity. His story forces us to confront uncomfortable truths about ourselves and the world we live in. To understand Hannibal is to look into the depths of human psychology and to ask questions we might not want to answer. Why do we fear him? Why are we fascinated by him? And what does that say about us? Perhaps that's the true horror of Hannibal Lecter, not the darkness within him, but the glimpse he offers into the darkness within ourselves.